Well, good afternoon, everybody. Happy Thursday. We are here live and for the love of dragons. My name is Araya Anra, and I come on every Thursday to talk about dragons because we love them and they love us. And here's my little dragon kitty. He decided to come on today. He's got those beautiful golden dragon eyes. Let's see, Arthur, will you look up? You want to look up at everybody? Let's see if Arthur wants to look at everybody today. Oh, look at those dragon eyes. So hello, Ryan, good to see you. Wasn't sure what I was going to discuss today. There haven't been any questions this week, which is sometimes nice because it lets me talk about whatever I want. But the energy of today and what came through in book club. Yeah, is Ray coming on today? Sorry, I'm running a little bit behind today because I was just sitting with some different things and looking through posts in the group to see the group energy and what's been posted lately and where people are at and what might be beneficial to discuss today. So what came through in the book club and what I'm still feeling really strongly is to revisit this aspect of surrender and trust in our journey and how important that is right now with all that's going on in the world and what's happening with the dragons and the shifts, the new templates being created. And we're really in some deep stages of internal transformation. And there's going to be some physical changes going on for our bodies and a lot of readjustments as we fine-tune and move more out. So wanted to bring in a few things as far as just taking care of your physical self and surrendering and trusting to the process. So surrender and trust happens on a lot of different levels. And one, just starting with your body. Can you surrender and trust to your body's knowing of what it needs? Hello, Weldy. Yeah, and hello, Arthur. Arthur's getting more hellos than I am. So starting with that, can you trust your intuitive knowing of what your body wants in every moment? Can you override the program that says, I have this for breakfast every day, or this is what I have every Friday for dinner, or, you know, some of us have very written in stone schedules and things for our life, our day, whether it's what we eat, whether it's what we do, we have a morning ritual. And there's an aspect now of really moving into heart-centeredness, of really listening to yourself. Hello, Candace, and a few other people popped on there. Let me see, we've got Remington, that's what it was from France. I was catching the name there. So starting with very simple things of tuning in every moment instead of eating what you would normally eat or everyday eat that is out of habit. Can you tune in before you make that and say, is that really what my body's craving right now? Or if you think you are on a diet or need to be on a diet or follow a very strict regimen, can you allow yourself to sit and really feel into, well, this isn't what I've planned on eating, but it's really what my body's calling for, and can I tune into, is this my body really saying this? Is this my heart saying, your body needs this right now? Go ahead and have a little bit of this because, you know, whether maybe you're vegetarian and your body's saying, wow, that fish or that chicken or something looks really tasty. It might be because your body is saying, there's something within that I need right now that is part of moving the toxins out and getting replacements into your field. And whatever that is for you, it's setting up, when you do it in your physical realm, when you do it in the everyday aspects of what you do on a daily basis, it starts allowing you to see where you are in habits, where you are in modus operandi, just doing because, and where you can actually start listening to what's in your heart in that moment. Maybe you have a schedule and you do this every day. Maybe you do your morning walk every morning and you get up one morning and you're like, it doesn't feel right to do it right now. Can you allow yourself to override that? Listen to what your heart wants in that moment, knowing, okay, this is my heart talking and not my resistance saying, I just don't feel like exercising today. There is a very subtle difference that you have to tune into, but there's always a reason underlying when your heart is speaking and saying, no, actually you need a day off today, or you really need to be drinking more water today rather than this juice, or maybe you need some juices instead of just water because you limit yourself to water for whatever meals. So not knowing everybody's routines and being able to give examples for all of them, but being able to tune into, where can I trust myself? Where can I trust my heart space? Because this is the setting ground of you being able to do that on the bigger levels. So when we start with the everyday little physical practical things, then we start seeing and allowing that all right, I'm doing it on the physical body. My mental body is letting me surrender to that. Can I move into my emotional body into surrender? Can I move my energy body into surrender? And then we move into the deeper bodies. And what we have to get to is a place where we really understand and know I trust myself, my highest self. And my highest self is directing the show. And I have these guides that my higher self has hired and brought in and said, all right, I need a team to do this. And you guys are the best qualified. And boom, there they are. They show up. And many of you have dragon guides right now. And those dragon guides are bringing you forward on a process. So can you step into full surrender and trust in breaking patterns and allowing yourself to let them lead the show? Let your higher self lead and guide you. So even in that, some of you ask a lot of questions about, well, how do I know which dragon to work with? How do I know, do I have to go in order, or can I'm feeling called to this one? Absolutely. This time is about, what is your heart saying? If your heart is calling you to a specific dragon and you're not somewhere in the book where you feel like, well, I haven't worked with all these others first, let your heart lead. There's a reason that dragon is coming to you. And even in the sense of, I have no idea which dragon I want to work with today, go into meditation and allow it to unfold. That's another level of surrender and trust. And I will tell you that I was always one who, type A personality, loved to have everything planned out, loved to know exactly if I was going to be speaking live, especially when I started this 3 years ago. I wanted to have an idea of what I was talking about. I wanted to have an outline or something to know. And it was really based on fear. It was based on not trusting myself, on not trusting my guides, the energies that were flowing, and being able to step into full surrender and trust in that. So letting you in on a little secret now, for those of you that haven't been in the book club yet, when you do a book club, you'll realize and understand how deeply that level of surrender and trust goes when you get further along and are ready to make that leap on the path into truly living what you need to be doing. And finding your purpose, aligning with your highest self, letting the dragons push you forward or pull you forward, and release those pieces that will let you do that. Because I've now gotten to a point, and first book club I ever did 3 years ago, I had written subjects down every week. I had things that I knew that I could back up on to talk about. I had an idea of, I had the meditation sort of planned out for each week of, all right, this is what we're going to do. And well, in that, I was shown to start letting go and let the energies flow through me. And it made them so much more powerful. And each time it's been even more so. And I will tell you that now, in the last several sessions of book club, I don't go in with any planned discussion other than questions that people have raised that don't get answered. So we keep that list flowing forward. But those are the most spur of the moment, inspired, gut energy of the group meditations, and they end up being super powerful because of that. Because we're in the moment, we're all surrendering and trusting into who is showing up. And there are new dragons showing up. And even this was today. This was about a dragon taking them in to find a place in the body where it's hard for them to trust, where it's hard to surrender, where they want to keep control. And maybe it's about your kids, maybe it's about your job, maybe it's about your schedule. So you can sit and look at yourself and ask, what's the hardest thing for me to trust in my life? Is it other people? Is it how I get out and speak in front of people? Is it knowing that I'll have security and stability? There's lots of ways that we don't allow trust to come in. And we're being asked at this time because we're in this great shift. You guys are all aware of it. Everybody's been talking about it for years, but especially in the last couple of months, that we're really on the verge, that we're really in the final stages of preparation to be able to walk through this doorway. Well, I tell you what, we're not going to be able to walk through that doorway unless we've absolutely surrendered and trusted everything within us and aligned to our highest self, and aligned into that space of dropping all of the false beliefs, all of the barriers or parts of ourselves that go into, I want to say retention, but it's more like resistance of something that makes us stop or contract. We can't have any contraction when we go through. And if you're not trusting and surrendering, there's contraction. So allowing you to look at and feel and go in and allow your guides, because your guides are there to lead you forward. If you can drop full trust into them, even if you don't know who they are, you don't know if they're angelic or dragon, you can't necessarily feel them, If you sit and set your intention in your heart out to say, all right, my guides are leading me forward, and I'm going to trust the next thing that they put in front of me. And maybe you turn your YouTube on or your Facebook on, or you go and you see a book fall off the shelf in front of you. Trust that. You've just put out there that you're going to trust the next thing that they show you, and boom, a message comes up through some kind of media that you watch or some kind of reference, or maybe you see a color out in the sky and that color speaks to you, that they are going to reach you in the way that you can hear, but you have to be able to trust it and surrender to it. And I would say the biggest recommendation I have in working with the dragons right now, if you are in the book, or even if you're not in the book right now, maybe you've read the book and you're like, all right, how do I open to more? There are so many more families of dragons showing up now. I'm meeting new dragons every week that have not been present before, that we have not been ready to work with. And I'm excited because I'm in the middle of creating the Oracle deck, and the artwork is just over halfway done. And each time that there's a new dragon come in and I can have the artist create it, it's just so exciting, because that is bringing forward new information. It's allowing them to come with their energy stream and bring more gifts to us. And so when you drop in and invite the dragons in, just say, all right, I'm going to trust. I'm going to trust that the dragon that comes in for me right now has a huge gift for me, and it's going to show me something I haven't seen in myself before. They're going to show me something that I haven't been ready to release before. And I might not go and understand all that's going on, and maybe I'm just a beginner meditator, and I can go in and just feel like, all right, I know there's an energy moving around me, and that's all I can feel, and I'm going to trust, because my guides have my back, that it's not, some weird entity. I don't have to fear it. There's nothing in my sphere that can harm me, so I can trust and surrender fully to what is coming in, and know that it is divinely inspired, because my highest self is always connected to that divine light of Mother, Father, God, and that always holds my best interest. And as I sit in my sphere and hold my guides within that, and they hold me, that something positive is going to shift forward. But I do have to invite that in. If I never sit in meditation and never open my heart and say, okay, I'm really ready to take the next step, show me what it is, then I will never take that next step, because I haven't surrendered and trusted enough. So there's lots of levels of trust, but I just want to bring that in today as a reminder of what levels are you not surrendering to? Where can you go in your journey right now that is another deeper level of trust for you that will take you further? That will maybe you're at the edge of the precipice, maybe you're at the edge of a cliff and ready to fly, and yet you don't trust your wings. You have dragon wings. If you've gotten that far and you're ready, your guides are saying, you can do it. Just like a mama bird pushing the little babies out of the nest saying, it's time, you can fly. Trust yourself, trust your guidance, trust what's going to happen, and know that even if this process makes you fall flat on your face, and there's been a lot of discussion of this over time of, lead into failure because it will take you to your next success. That's part of the trust in your life process. That your life process is also continuous levels of trust, of knowing, you know what, I fell flat on my face and that hurt, but this came out of it. And maybe it's that you ran across a new person or a new contact, or looked at something in a different way. That maybe in falling you finally saw somebody else's perspective, and that's a huge gift. That if you hadn't had that fall, you wouldn't be in this other place that now can lead you here. And that is part of the perfection of your life, because your higher self has designed it that way. And can you trust that everything you are going through right now is divine perfection in your life, because you put it in the program. You designed it to bring yourself in. And can I trust myself that whatever I'm living through right now, is challenging or hard as it may feel, is actually perfection? And how do I get to the other side of that? Another piece of trust I have learned just in my own psychic capacities over the years, since they woke up in 2003, I keep trusting more and more in them, and allowing whatever information is coming in to be taken as truth, because I trust my guides, I trust my team. And so some of the information that I've been having lately about this process we're in physically, I want to bring up just because it was very fresh yesterday. To be paying attention as we go through these shifts, that your body is changing physically. your cells are changing, if DNA is being rewritten, if lots of things are being released, in order to have our physical bodies prepared for this shift, you are going back to more of an original design. There are things, there's a lot of collective energy going on right now in group meditations and healings and things that are helping reverse or release a lot of the distortions that have come in over many, many eons. And as we do that, you're going back to your original template. So two of the major pieces that will help you move forward with your physical body. I'm so glad, Britta. It's interesting because half hour before I wasn't sure really what needed to be discussed. And so this is that trust in action. This is that absolute trust in action of like, this is what everybody needs to hear today. So I'm glad it's working for you, Britta. Two pieces physically. One, whether you exercise a lot or not, even if you get up and like I've started, because I'm homeschooling and don't have to drive kids to school, I have that extra hour in the morning where I'm now able to take the dogs for a really long 2.5-mile walk a couple days a week. So even later in that day or on alternate days, I've been shown yesterday that get up and move. Whether it's 5 minutes, whether it's 10 minutes, get your blood flowing. If you're at work or maybe you're at home because you're working out of the house, maybe you're always at home or in whatever situation, get up and walk around your house. Do a couple laps around your house. Maybe you have things that need to be arranged, put away. Do it actively. Take a basket of stuff and go deliver it all around the house in a very active way to get your blood pumping. This isn't just about exercising, clearing out, and getting you in shape. This is literally just to get your blood flowing, because your blood is what's removing all the toxins out of your body, that as you make these shifts and integrate, it needs to be blood flow. It needs to be actively moving so that you're releasing a bunch out of your blood cells, out of all your lymph system. The blood is going to take it out. So that's one piece. But the other is really paying attention to the sun. And no, we don't want to get sunburned. Yes, always pay attention to how much. But to be actively going out and receiving sunlight. Because some of us get stuck in patterns, especially for indoor work, where we only see the sun when we drive to work, or maybe on walking to the restaurant at lunch, or looking at it through the window as you eat your lunch. There's just not a lot of always consistent focus on getting outside and soaking up the sun. So in an active way, I do a lot of gardening, so I'm out whenever I can be like that. But every day I need to be out getting and soaking up sunlight. Why? Our bodies, our original design bodies, I don't know if you're aware of this, the original human design was meant to live a couple thousand years. I've read like 2,500 to 3,000 is average, but there have been cases in history where 7,000 to 8,000 years was not unexpected or abnormal. Wow, we've really declined in our lifespan, right? But if you look at how we've gone through in the last several millennia into very, very short lifespans, and now we're coming back into centenarian being normal. We are re-expanding that because we are re-infiltrating more and more light and releasing more and more of the distortion that has kept us from operating at that high standard, at that normal for our original design. And the information that I received was part of our design was actually to receive everything that we need for our bodies to function properly from the sun. That through the skin, through all of the body processes in the cells, which are realigning to this, we are actually should be able or capable to create all of the vitamins and minerals that we need from the sun. We know that we produce vitamin D. We've still maintained that capacity, but I believe that there's more waking up within us that actually will bring more and more of that back online to produce all of them. Where down the road, if we're in our light bodies and we're functioning in that way, we don't actually need to ingest physical food. That wasn't part of the original design, that we operate on sunlight and air, potentially water, but I'm not positive. So there's pieces there of just paying attention to, and whether I'm right on the money on that information or not, the information is very valid that, all right, there's a bit of sunlight every day, 5 to 10 minutes of going out, and even if it's a cloudy day, soaking up what you can through the clouds, not an hour, not two, not getting sunburned, and ideally doing it where you're not exposed so long that you need that block of sunscreen, which limits what you're actually receiving from the sun. So allowing just a few minutes a day to get that back into your skin cells, to get your own body operating again in those modes, like to re-wake that up. So those are the two pieces I was given yesterday of really pay attention to this. This is something that your body needs over the next months as we continue to progress through getting ourselves back online with where we need to be. And so just allow yourselves, let the dragons come in. They are so ready to take you into their fold, but you have to trust them. So everything today is surrender and trust to what you know, surrender and trust to what's coming up in your heart. Your heart will always guide you forward, and listening to the heart right now is the crucial piece in us merging everything back in, because we're merging everything back into heart space. So here we've got Ryan saying, looking at the sun, first 30 minutes of sunrise or last 30 minutes of sunset, building up slowly is recommended when the sun gives off a special energy when it's gentle enough to look. Oh, thanks for bringing that up, Ryan. Absolutely. You know, I tend to find more time or spaces in my day throughout the day to go when the sun is high and bright. But you're absolutely right. My favorite times of day of looking at the sky, and I think this is true for everyone, why we find that to be the magical hour, that sunrise, sunset, 30 minutes before and after is when it is easy to look at, but it's the most colorful and beautiful. And there's something radiant that comes across where the rays can reach us in a more soothing way. And I think that's why so many people love to watch sunrises and sunsets, in that sort of natural instinct within us that calls us forth towards that. So thanks for bringing that in. It is a very special energy, that time of day. And I feel like that time of day is, because it's that gap where we're moving into zones of connection, where for some reason everything can come through that zone easier. I know those, like sunrise is a beautiful meditation time because it's that emptiness of connection. So yeah, hoping you guys get a little tidbit out of today. Looking forward to next week and any questions that arise. And letting you guys know I've been actively working on, very excited, the lair and all the beautiful dragon things that are going to be available through that. So excited to see them. I got the first canvas prints received yesterday that are part of that, of all the new dragons that are in the Oracle deck. Well, the ones that are created so far, but having those available so that we can have them on our walls and have them grace our kitchens and just be with us tangibly all day, every day, like this little guy. So excited as that's one of the next things coming out, and reminding, if you haven't heard, the intergalactic dragons, the black, the white, and the crystal, are very prevalent with us right now. I would say they are the most useful to work with right now with the energies and shifts that we're in. And I have brand new meditations on the site that quite a few of you on the call have already taken advantage of. I know Candace there got them last week. But those are powerhouse. They came through specifically at this time for this time, so take advantage of them. And they are available in French now too. So those of you that are French speakers natively but like to watch the videos and get what you can out of the English, they're available in French now as well as of a couple days ago. They're up on the site ready to go. So also, I have forgotten to mention this. Insight Timer is an app that apparently over 1 million people in the world use. They're trying to get it up to 6 million people. But it's a great place to find lots of different meditations, and there has not been much in the way of dragon meditations on there. And so I took the recommendation of one of my dragon hearts who recommended it very long ago, but I finally have made the time and gotten the incentive to go ahead and get it on there. So I'm going to start putting more meditations also on Insight Timer, if that's something that you are a part of or know people that you can always send them towards, like, oh, you know, you're on Insight Timer. There actually is a dragon meditation there that's an introduction. It's the Calling in Your Dragon that's on the website, but it's a great way for people to find the dragons and start getting open to that. So putting that out there as well as another connection for you guys, another tool. And I will look forward to seeing you next week. Have a fabulous week. Enjoy the energies, and I hope you get some sun and some blood flow. All right. Have a great week, everybody.